And at the very top, above every other power, authority, throne, or dominion, stands this God. In the ancient Near East, this was an outrageous claim. Every nation believed in a pantheon, multiple gods, each with their sphere of influence. You had storm gods, fertility gods, sun gods, or gods. They competed. They had conflicts. They had limitations. But Elyon shatters that entire worldview. This title says, there is one God who stands above all others. Not a god among gods, but the Most High, singular, supreme, ultimate. The creator of heaven and earth isn't competing with other deities. He's categorically above them. They're not even in the same class of existence. And this understanding didn't come through Abraham's family line or through some new revelation to God's chosen people. It came through Melchizedek, an outsider, a Canaanite king priest, someone who had access to this truth before Abram's descendants would become a nation. What does that tell us? That the knowledge of Elyon existed before the covenant with Israel. That there were people in the ancient world who understood that above all the tribal gods and local deities, there was one who was most high. That true worship existed outside the boundaries scholars often want to draw. Here's where this story reaches across millennia and still impacts us today. This title, Elyon, appears more than 30 times throughout the Old Testament. But every single time it shows up after Genesis 14, it's loaded with the weight of this moment. It's a declaration that God is sovereign over nations, over kings, over circumstances, over everything human beings try to build or control. When Moses calls God Elyon in Deuteronomy 32, he's saying that God is the one who gives nations their land and sets their borders. When Daniel is in Babylon, surrounded by an empire that worships a pantheon of gods, he repeatedly calls his God Elyon the Most High and says that this God changes times and seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. The Psalms use this title when they want to emphasize God's absolute rule. For you, Lord, are the Most High over all the earth. You are exalted far above all gods. Psalm 97-9. It's not just that God is powerful, it's that he is supreme. Categorically above. Highest in the hierarchy of all reality. But here is something that blows my mind.